this fight means everything to me. It's still a lot to prove. I still have a chip on my shoulder. Like I said, I want to clean out the division. You know, I want to be the last man standing. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, I want to fight the top fighters. I want to beat the top fighters in my division. So, you know, I got Lamont. So it's fight time.
Lamont, when you look at your resume, you fought some top guys. I mean, you can go down the names from Khan to everybody that you've been in the ring with. So given that, what does this fight mean to you at this stage of your career against somebody like Errol Spence?
Well, when I got into boxing, you get into anything, you have goals. First, you know, you want to be, starting in the amateurs, a national champion. You know, you want to fight on Olympic teams. You want to become a world champion as a professional. But the ultimate goal is to be in the Hall of Fame. Honestly speaking, me looking at that, and that's my goal. But at this point in my career, I wouldn't put me into the Hall of Fame. But with the win over a guy like, you know, Errol Spence, and, you know, if everyone decides to actually fight each other at welterweight, and if I can make it through all of them names, I put myself in. So that's why I signed up for these fights, and that's my goal. And of course, I'm going to give them all to get there.
I remember you said, Errol, that, listen, maybe at the beginning we may box a little, but eventually this is probably going to be a dog fight. Do you anticipate on Saturday that's what Brooklyn and the world's going to see, a dog fight, and a fight where Lamont Peterson brings you in and says, okay, you're two of the best body punchers in the game, let's slug it out?
I think so. I mean, like a lot of people are kind of putting this fight to the side, thinking it's going to be an easy fight. And anybody who follows Lamont Peterson, you know, they know, it's going to be a hard fight. He always comes in shape. You know, he's always in dog shape, has a lot of experience, and has a lot of skill, boxing and banging. So I know I'm in for a tough fight. I know it will be a dog fight, and that's why, you know, I wanted to fight Lamont. Lamont was the only guy left. Nobody else wanted to fight. So my manager came to me and said, what about Lamont? And I said, yeah, of course, because nobody wants to fight Lamont. So I took the fight, man. It's going to be a tough fight, man. It's going to be a tough, rugged fight. If you watch Lamont fight, you know that later on in the fight, you know, it gets rough. You know, he starts out boxing, then he ends up standing there in the pain and fighting and tough and stuff. So, and you watch my fights, you know my fights always get rough. Either the guy's fleeing or the guy has no choice but to stand there and fight. So I mean, you know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a rough fight. It might not be a lot of talking and a lot of, you know, propaganda, and, you know, and we pushing each other and spitting each other's face and things like that. But you know what you get out of Errol Spence and Lamont Peterson fight. You get a dog fight, you get a great fight, you get a fan-friendly fight.
Sir. You know, I think going into this one, I think you fought one time last year, you fought this thing one time last year. Will we see Lamont Peterson more active this year, 2018?
Hope so. If you left it to me, I'll fight every month. I love boxing that much. But I know, you know, it's a business side of boxing, and I'm okay with that. But I know, you know, with a victory this weekend, it helps me fight more often. You know, you kind of get caught in those situations where a lot of times you're at the top level and you might lose a fight or two, and then those top guys don't want to take that chance. They know your worth, but they can always use that against you. So I think I can regain my footing with that with a victory this weekend.
And when you look at your resume and the number of people you fought, there's no question, people don't question your credentials. But then they'll say, but you know, when it seems like when he's fought top guys, he's come up short. How do you respond to that?
Can't respond to it. Honestly, I mean, it's in the history books. It's written. It's over and done with. However you feel about that, I respect it. There's nothing I can do about it.
Errol, you talked about wiping out the welterweight division. Does that mean fighting actively, like 3 times a year? What does that mean to you? When you talk about wiping out the division and being more active?
And that means staying active. I haven't been an activist recently, due to waiting. I had to wait for my type of defense and things like that. And then, I had a lot of guys, not answering the calls. A lot of guys, Al's and called these guys saying that, they report to mention my name. They try to make the excuse this and this and that. Okay, I have a belt now. I went over there and got the belt. So what's the excuse now? And I'm still calling it. I have a belt and I'm still calling these dudes out. Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, all these guys. He won't be sitting here if Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia or Sean Porter said they'll take the fight. I should have been world champion and had to call these dudes out. And Lamont Peterson answered the call like a real fighter and like a real soldier should do.
So what do you see in 2018 for you? In a perfect world, what do you see for Errol Spence in 2018?
Well, in the perfect world, I'll be unifying with Keith Thurman or something like that. Or, I want to fight 3 times a year. I'm going to stay active. I'm not going to wait on, I'm not going to wait on anybody or, something you don't get back is time. You don't get time back. So I'm not going to wait around and be waiting on fighters to get ready and, they need to have tune-up fights or they want to fight me in 2020 and things like that. I'm not going to wait at all.
Barry, you've been with Lon a long time.